Hello guys, Robert1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, I'm going to be showcasing my first place locals, Invoked Dogmatika deck profile. Now, obviously last week I did play Shadow Invoked Dogmatika, Sid for short, but this week I wanted to play something a little different. I wanted to play a different build from that, which is just the pure Invoked Dogmatika deck, where you literally just play a few Dogmatika cards, the Invoked engine, and then make like one Shadow Schism and like some other engine pieces to be able to play the deck. And I'm going to be honest, playing both versions that I made, the Shadow version and this version, I can see both versions being just as good as each other, to be honest. They both have their own strengths and their own weaknesses, and they both complement each other in different ways. But I feel like both of them are still very strong, and I kind of wanted to say that in this video, because playing both builds, the Sid build and just the pure Invoked Dogmatika build, I feel like the Invoked Dogmatika, the Sid build is literally just I'm a combo off everywhere, where the just the Invoked Dogmatika build is more of a control variation of the deck, which is still really nice as well. But I've played both builds, and I do have a lot of ideas about the decks. I've learned a few things about both decks. Like I've learned a thing about how the Invoked Dogmatika deck just really has a very more control-esque vibe, where you try to keep the game playing with just like one. With just like Alistair and then like punishments and everything else along those lines. And then with the Shadow build, you want to focus more on like Shadow Fusion to go into Construct, and then you want to go into the Invoked engine to allow you to go ahead and make Mechaba, and then you want to go ahead and use the Dogmatika engine from there to go ahead and get your pieces to go ahead and go a little bit further, to go and kind of go for game a little more easier. And I feel like those are the, like each build has their own strengths and weaknesses, but this is the build that I played for locals this week. This is the first placed deck profile that I got. I came first to locals with this specific build. I'm not gonna lie to you, one card in the deck did kind of carry me in one or two games, because the card is just absolutely insane, and that card is Red Eyes Dragoon, which we do have a copy of in the back of the box right here. Beautiful card. And literally this deck, I'm gonna be honest, it's really strong, and I really did like playing our locals this week. So let's actually get into the list now though, guys, because if we're 2 minutes in and I've just been rambling on. So let's go ahead and start off, and so you guys can see the list. So starting off, we play free Alistair the Invoker. Literally, there was a game where I literally opened free Gamma, Invocation and Alistair, and I literally just normal summoned Alistair, searched Invocation, and that's it. I literally made Mechaba and passed, and then just Mechaba won me the game. Not joking, guys. Like literally, I just played Alistair Turbo. I just played Alistair and won the game. I'm not. But yeah, literally, this card, you need to play free of it. You need to play free Alistair. It's not even a joke. For Dogmatika engine though, we are playing 2 Ecclesia. I should be playing a third. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't own a third. But even still, I feel like 2 is enough for the deck nonetheless, and playing 2, it's fine. There wasn't any time where I really felt like, oh, I needed the third Ecclesia. It would have helped a lot more. Like, it's still a really strong card, and I don't think it matters that I didn't have the third copy. But 2 Ecclesia was fine. You should be playing free though, I'm not gonna lie, you need to play free of this card. But because it just allows you to get additional combos off with like Alistair and stuff. But I felt like 2 was enough as well, like, because we still have, like, free Nadir, we have, like, Knighted and everything along those lines as well. The third one just didn't really feel like it was necessary at times, though. So I feel like 2 was enough, but 3 is definitely the recommended number, in my opinion. But yeah, played 2 Virtuous, it went really well, literally just play the third. I would cut this for the third Virtuous, though, because this card, I cited it out every game. This card is just so bad right now. Like later on in the game, when people feel like, oh, this deck isn't going to be played as much, this card could be absolutely insane. But right now, this card is just so bad, because every game you make this card, and if you summon this card and your opponent happens to have Unts in the extra deck, it just sucks. So literally, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, I tended to side this out every game. I'm not going to be playing this card from now on, because this card, it's a really strong card, don't get me wrong, but it just has so many weaknesses in this deck in general, and it's just like, it's not worth the risk. But Maximus is a one-of. Like, if we didn't have to care about our opponents having Unts in the extra deck, it wouldn't really matter. But honestly, guys, this, like, it's a one-card win to turn 1 with Nadir, but literally, it's not worth the risk of unts. It really isn't. Like, unless all I've opened is an idea, this card just doesn't see play in my opinion. But yeah, I'll cut this for the third Ecclesia. We're also playing 2 Dogmatika Fleuras because this card is actually insane. Just being a free special summon from hand if you control an extra deck monster, and also being an Infect Veiler is absolutely insane. And going up against decks like the Utopic Zexal deck, where they literally just make Zexal turn 1 and pass. Like, you could be like, oh, in the end of their main phase, you just summon this, so if they do use the Zexal effect, you can just beat it down and then set some cards and pass. Or it's just really nice to be able to beat, if your opponent's going to make like an Appaloosa turn 1, then you can literally just summon this card, and if they don't make an Appaloosa with more than 3k attack, then you literally just beat over it, so it's just like really nice there. And it's just a really good card to have as a protection as well, because there were times where if I would have been OTK'd, I just summoned this in defense and I lived. So just a really good card overall, like Knight. I feel like in this build you have to play at least 2 though, so if you want to play the Sid build you only need to play 1, but in this build you definitely need to play 2. For other monsters though, we're playing 3 Parallel Exceed. This is because literally this plus Alistair equals Dragoon, and that's pretty much all it really is. It's literally just like summon this. Like this deck can very easily end on Winder, Dragoon, and Mechaba turn 1, so just playing cards like these just helps. Game 2 I do tend to side these out, just because we tend to go second and I want to play more hand traps to be able to kind of mediate the effects of that. So, but the card is really strong and I feel like it is a free of if you are going to play this deck. For hand traps though, we played triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, just one of the best hand traps in the game, plus it is a fire. So it allows us to make cards like Purgatorio and stuff, which is really nice as well. We also played 3 Cypherane Gamma. Yes, and the 1 driver, of course. And yes, I opened 3 of this with an Alistair and Invocation, and I literally just went, normal summon Alistair, search Invocation, make Mechaba, attack, pass. And then we just did that for turn after turn after turn until our opponent was dead. Like, literally, the card's really strong right now. You need to be playing, like, I would say you need to play this card just for the fact that it's really good against Adamantipair, because if all they open up with is a tuner, then you literally just gamma them, the tuner's now gone, and they can't go into any more rock plays really. If you're up against an invoked player and you use this, then you just summon the Gamma onto the effect of the invocation. Then if they want to use if they have another invocation in hand, then they have to waste a resource in their hand with the invocation to be able to go into any other plays. Against a lot of other decks, like really just combo decks, against stuff like Guru as well. If they flip the Guru, you can just use this and then deal with the Guru. It's a really good card, and I feel like it is just one of the better hand traps this format that you kind of need to play up free. So I'm playing triple Gamma in this because of that reason. And then the last 2 monsters we're playing is 1 Dark Magician and 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon, because, well, Red Eyes Dragoon takes these 2 monsters, and I like to send 2 to the graveyard. Yeah, just absolutely insane. Like, they're bricks, and also, guys, I will say this, if you ever draw both of these in your opening hand with an invocation, that's still Dragoon, so it's fine, but yeah, these 2 cards, you need to be playing them because of the Dragoon engine. That's all the monsters, though. Like, obviously, we're playing a pretty basic Dogmatika engine, and then with just some hand traps and Parallel Exceed. If you don't want to play the Parallel Exceed, I would suggest changing it for Effect Veilers, because, like, this is good, but, like, you could want to play Effect Veiler because it's another hand trap. But I just like this because it allows us to make Dragoon a lot easier and stuff along those lines as well. But yeah, definitely play the third Ecclesia instead of the Maximus, though. Unless you want to play more Reborn, then you can cut the Maximus for a revival card. So yeah, that's another option as well. But that's just the monsters for now. For spells, though, we're playing Triple Servant of Nadir, because this card literally just says search any Dogmatica card from our deck by sending a card from extra to the graveyard. So we get to send cards like Apocalone, Unce, Titanic Clad Dragon to the graveyard, just to search any of our Dogmatica cards from our deck to our hand. You will normally be using this to send your Apocalone to the graveyard, though, just so you can go ahead and get Schism from the deck and be able to make a winner on your opponent's turn. So that's the main thing, but it's just a really strong card and allows us to get Ecclesia from the hand or the graveyard as well, which is kind of the reason why I felt like the third Ecclesia wasn't really missed, because every time we saw this, we just searched Ecclesia, or if we saw a third one, then we just got the one from the graveyard. So it's just like, it didn't really matter a lot of the time, so it felt like this at free was just insane. Like, you should definitely play this at free no matter what in the Dogmatica deck. We also play 3 Magical Meltdown to search Alistair. This is also really nice because they can't stop, if you open your Red Eyes Fusion, then they can't stop Red Eyes Fusion thanks to this, so that's really good. Triple Invocation, that's just standard, I'm not going to go too deep into that. 1 Terraforming to search the Magical Meltdown. 1 Triple Tactical Talents. This card is, I drew it once, and it was just discard fodder. I'm like, literally, the card is insane. If you're up against the Dragoons and your opponent negates something and you just steal their Dragoons, that's really nice. But outside of that situation, this card won't come up most likely. Monster Reborn, because of literally getting 2 monsters on the board, like, you open Monster Reborn and Alistair, that's Dragoon. Like, literally, just the reasons. 1 emergency teleport, because this card can summon Gamma from the deck, so you just summon Gamma, and then that's 2 monsters there as well. And the last spell, Red Eyes Fusion, because it's the card that will allow us to make our Dragoon of Red Eyes. So yeah, absolutely insane spell lineup, I suppose. And then trap cards, for the last hand trap, we actually do play Triple Infinite Impermanence, because it's literally just one of the best hand traps in the game as well, not being able to be called by the Graved and stuff. 2 Dogmatika Punishment, because this card literally just says I can send from my extra deck to the graveyard. I do lose the ability to summon from my extra deck, but it's not that deep, because even if I do lose the ability to summon from my extra deck, it doesn't really matter. Because, like, let's be honest, if I can't summon from the extra deck, it doesn't matter if I've already got a Dragoon or I've already got a Mechapra on the board, so, I don't really care. But yeah, this card is just pretty much a double pop at times as well, thanks to Unts too. And then the last trap we actually play is 1 Shadow Schism, because this card says we can make Winder during our opponent's turn, and allows us to make Winder, Dragoon, and Mechaba turn 1, pretty much. So that's the main deck. Like, the main deck is pretty much built so you can turbo out multiple monsters to be able to go into the Verte Anaconda. Make sure you always have a target for your Dogmatika package. And honestly, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I would like to play free, but you don't really need to. Like, all day I was like, I never felt like I needed the third, and to be honest, even if I did cut the Maximus for a third, I might at times just want a revival card instead, so maybe put World Legacy Succession in this deck instead, see how that works, because, like, it is another option to actually play in this deck, because if you open Alistair, then that's literally just equals turn 1 Anaconda as well, so it's not too big a deal. But for the extra deck, though, we're playing, obviously, the 1 Amaraj and the 1 Secure Gardener, standard package in every Invoked deck. 1 Verte Anaconda to send the Red Eyes Fusion from our deck to the graveyard, just so we can obviously guarantee Dragoon turn 1. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, just so we can go ahead and discard cards and then shuffle cards back to the deck. It does come up at times. 1 Access Code Token, because it says I can't be chained to, and I get to destroy tons of cards. Just an absolutely insane card. 1 Cyframe Omega, because we do put tons of cards in the graveyard, so being able to put cards back at times can be really useful. 1 Elder Entity Unts, because we can destroy any card our opponent controls, just by sending this to the graveyard with something like Punishment and Nadir, anything along those lines. Titanclad, to be able to either special summon or add Dogmatic cards from our deck to our hands during the end phase. Invoked Purgatorio, I'm going to OTK you. 2 Mechaba, you should not play 1, and 3 is a bit much, so I feel like 2 is the correct number. 1 Winder, 1 Apclone, and 1 Construct, just because because sometimes we can make the Construct, so we can go ahead and send a Light Monster. We gotta go make the Winder a lot of time, and we send the Apclone to graveyard to be able to search the Schism. And then finally, the best fusion monster in the game right now, 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, because this card literally does everything. It can't be targeted, it can't be destroyed, it can send up to 2 monsters your opponent controls to the graveyard and burn your opponent from that amount of damage for that amount of attack points. It can negate opponent's card's effects. It's non-negate by just discarding a card, and if it negates the cards, it gains 1,000 attack for each card it negated and destroyed. It's literally insane, and it carried me through 2 games that day, against a Guru matchup, and against one other matchup, which I can't actually remember what the deck was at this moment in time. No, it was against a Necros combo deck. So yeah, like, this card was absolutely insane and really is necessary for the deck. Like, honestly, I probably would be still playing the Shadow build if Dragoon wasn't released, but because Dragoon was released, I wanted to play this. But yeah, that was the main deck. The main deck is very solid. There's nothing really I would change, maybe outside of the third Ecclesia, or maybe putting in something like another Reborn spell, because having more ways to summon more monsters is a good idea. But for the side deck as well, guys, just so you can get an idea of why I actually sided, we played Triple Nibiru. I didn't use it once, so I'm not gonna lie, guys, it never came up. I drew it once against a Dino player, but that was it. Triple Ghost Ogre, because obviously this is for big combo decks, and then Ghost Ogre for stuff like Numeron, everything along those lines. Then we played double Lightning Storm. I would play 3, but I only own 2. Literally, though, came in clutch against the Guru player, because I opened Red Eyes Fusion and Lightning Storm, and I Lightning Stormed him. He didn't have the Judgment, so I just Red Eyes Fusioned. No, I was able to make Verte Anaconda, and then I won the game from there. Triple Dark Ruler No More for those combo decks. Triple Evenly Matched, because we want to be able to deal with control decks a lot easier easier. Like, this deck does kind of have a bad matchup against control, so playing as many side deck cards for control decks as possible is a good idea. And then 1 red reboot because it says negate all trap cards. But that's all the side deck cards. Like, it's basically your side deck can be whatever you really want it. It just depends on your locals in general. Like, if your locals is very combo heavy, you want to play side a lot of combo cards. If you want to go to a big event, it really just depends on that. But that's the side deck. But the main deck is the main thing here, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Testing Sid and testing just Dogmatika Invoked, I have learned one thing. This deck is very fragile at times, where if you don't have the right cards, it doesn't really do much. But if you do have like Alistair, or you open the Dogmatika package, or even if you just open Red Eyes Fusion, the deck is very strong. Like, the worst bricks this deck can have is when it just opens like multiple Parallel at Seed, maybe a Maximus, something along those lines. But even if you do open that, as long as you draw into something like an Alistair or a Dogmatika Ecclesia, it's normally fine in the end. But guys, honestly, playing this deck at locals, it was really good. It was really strong. I believe my matchups were round 1 Necros combo, round 2 Dinosaurs, round 3 Pendulum, round 4 Guru control, and then round 5 was... what was round 5? Can't remember. Round 5 was something. It was something good. It was something that I played against, and I know I just killed it. No, it was Shadow. It was Shadow. Shadow. It was just pure Shadow. With Dragoon in it. And I'm gonna be honest, I lost game 1 because he Dragooned first, but then game 2 and 3 it was just like I opened Alistair and triple Gamma, and somehow Kate was able to win that game. But guys, that is the video though. Honestly, playing this deck, it was a lot of fun. It's definitely a deck that is a lot more interesting and a lot more skillful to play than something like Adamantipator and stuff like that, because throughout the entire day there wasn't a single game where I was like, well, except for one game, where I was like, how can I break this board? How can I go through this board? And, like, honestly, I went 5-0 up locals with this deck. I literally didn't drop a match, so it's just like, it goes to show that this deck does have power. Dragoons carried me on the Guru matchup, I'm not gonna lie, though. But guys, that is the deck profile, though. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you like it? Is there any changes you would make? Would you play the third Ecclesia? Would you not? Maybe you'd like 2, like I kind of liked 2. Tell me your thoughts about it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one, where I'll probably be playing this deck in a duel online. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, guys, Rob1 signing out. Later all.